You said you made a payment to Capital One and they refused to make the payment. Okay, then what happened?
They refused to accept it, and then the next thing I know, they got an attorney to sue me, and but at the time I didn't know anything about common law, and I fought it, you know, like we do when we don't understand. So I fought it as a pro se, and you know, the judge pretty much ruled against me on everything.
Of course.
And then I did a interlocutory appeal. I know you don't like those words, but at the time I didn't know any better. So I did an interlocutory appeal on her denial of my motion to dismiss. And while it was pending before the Supreme Court of Colorado, she held a trial, even though I thought she was divested and believed that she was divested of jurisdiction while the Supreme Court ruled on my motion, my appeal. And she held a trial, and by that time I had already moved to Alaska. And so she held a trial while I think she didn't have, I believe she did not have jurisdiction, and so she ruled against me. And so now I've been fighting it ever since.
If you were given a case number, case number by the Colorado Appellate Court or Supreme Court, right, it removed the jurisdiction from HUD control and to do anything to their court. Absolutely. So
well, what I did was I appealed to the appeals court, and they said that they didn't have jurisdiction pending final ruling by her. So I appealed that to the Supreme Court, and at the time it was still pending before the Supreme Court when she held her trial.
Did they give you a docket number?
No, not on the appeal. No.
There you go. Then they never removed it from HUD control. Once you get a docket number, now the property's docked over in this bay, in this harbor, over here. And she no longer has control. The harbor master now gave you a docket number. Now they claim control and authority over that ship or that property. So no.
Oh, I see. They didn't
accept it into their dock or their port of call. They didn't accept it. They said, we're not going to let this boat come in until we get the okay from the person who's got control of this thing. And
I see. Well, that makes sense when you say it like that. That makes sense.
Well, you didn't have control over it. It was their case. See, now you're learning a lot more. You understand when somebody makes a claim or a complaint against you, you got to jump on it the next day. See, that's what everybody gets traffic tickets, and they don't understand this silly stuff. The cop gives you a ticket. You know, well, it took them, you know, they had to get this paperwork, and then he got the ticket, and then he wrote the ticket out. He put it on his computer in his car, and then he sends it off to his supervisor the next morning. The supervisor sends it to a dispatcher and accounting officer later. She moves it over to the prosecuting attorney. Then he files something with the clerk of the court. And then the clerk of the court goes and sets the docket date and hands paperwork to you, the judge, and everybody else. And you guys just walk in. These guys built a massive amount of paperwork and work and did so much detail and everything. And you guys are like, 30 days later, I'm going to walk in and I'm going to open my mouth and I'm going to say something magical. Now, when you get a ticket, you better start the same process they're doing. You better take it over and you better file something with the clerk of the court. You better prosecute it. They're prosecuting you. You better prosecute something against them. You better be moving your paperwork because they're moving paperwork against you. If you're just going to sit there and twiddle your thumbs and say, well, in 30 days I'm going to come up with some magic answer, like this guy Karl Lentz does. He walks in a court, boom, 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 says this stuff. Yeah, well, the way I had to do it is the same thing when I get a ticket. As soon as I get a ticket, like my sister asked me, well, what happened last time you got a ticket? I said, well, remember I got on a Sunday in front of your house. She said, yeah. I said, remember Monday morning I went down there with a proposal to the prosecuting attorney. Remember I asked the cop who's going to prosecute this. Are you going to prosecute it? Who's going to prosecute it? He said, the county prosecutor. I said, where are you located? He said, district court, second floor. I said, okay. Wrote my little proposal, and I said, sent it back to went and personally handed it to one of the prosecuting attorneys. I said, can I talk to the prosecuting attorney who does traffic court here in this county? He said, okay. So I went and he read my proposal, and he just said to me, are you an attorney? He's like, I said, no. He says, I'll see you in court in 30 days. I said, you're going to lose. He says, I've never lost. I said, you're going to lose this one because you have no basis in law to compel me to perform. So have a nice day. I said, I'll prove my claim in court. So what I could have done at that time, I could have went straight downstairs and filed my claim that he is trying to administrate my property without any right and actually make a claim to sue him for unless he could prove his claim, that I'm going to want compensation for wasting my time going down to court that day. I'm going to want $100, $200, $500 for wasting my time because he's not going to be able to prove his claim. So like I said, that's because I'm busy doing a lawsuit here against Alabama. So I ain't got time for silly shit. So I just made my proposal to him, and I gave him a copy, and I placed it into his case. Not my case, I place it in his case to let the judge know, look, I did hand him a proposal.